Hello, 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 and good evening, and welcome to the Christina Nelson Show. I am your host, Christina Nelson, and today's guest is going to be none other than Keke MS. I found her on Facebook, and she also showed up on my last guest, a couple of guests ago, Terry Tyler. And I was like, you know what? I like to have people on that are positive and encouraging and not just talk about MS, but just encourage people and have support groups and find out more
Yeah.
about them. So today, that is my guest. So before we start, MS World Day, or World Day MS, it will be May 30th, which is Monday. And so, on honor of May 30th, I was like, what perfect guest to have is someone who knows all too well what it is to deal with multiple sclerosis. So, World MS Day is officially marked on May 30th. It brings the global MS community together to share stories and raise awareness and campaign with everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. World MS Day activities take place throughout the month of May and early June. So it's a big thing. It's not just like the whole month of March where we have multiple sclerosis awareness month, but World MS Day, people tell their stories, they get into it, they have activities. It's like a big old Juneteenth for MS.
Right.
That's the best way I can describe it, right?
Exactly.
So, Keke, why don't you tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
My name is Keke MS. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I got diagnosed in April 5th, 2018. But my first symptoms of MS would be January 5th, 2011, which is the day my mother died. And I am the only child, and like my first symptom, but I didn't know that it was MS. It was like it felt like bugs was on me. So I was scratching my leg like so bad that I kind of like dug a hole in it. I am a person who had 3 jobs at one time. And my first job was very physical. I was a rep agent at the airport. Okay. And it was like I was used to lifting these heavy bags and bringing in the plane and getting in the pit. But all of a sudden, it was like these bags became so heavy, like I'd never lifted them before.
Oh, wow.
And in 2016, I was going to the eye doctor, and I was a manager at Family Dollar. So I would like walk across the street to go to my eye appointment. And he kind of like referred me to an eye specialist. And therefore, I went to the eye specialist. He didn't tell me that he thought that I had an autoimmune disease. He kind of asked me, like, do autoimmune disease run in your family? And as me not being educated and wasn't doing my research at the time, I said no, because I didn't know diabetes is a form of autoimmune disease. Psoriasis is a form of autoimmune disease, and my grandma is a diabetic, and my mother had psoriasis.
Mm.
And he scheduled me to go to have an MRI. Me, as being a busy person, I cared about work more than like I cared about my health, because he didn't tell me like, oh, I think you got MS. You just wanted me to have an MRI. And when I went to have the MRI, my appointment was at 12:30. I'm still sitting here at 1:15, so I kind of left. And my right hand, like my right hand kind of looked different from my normal hand. Like my normal hand looked normal. So it was like I had got up for work one day, and I was trying to put my shirt on, and I used my 2 thumbs to put it over my head. So when I did that, it was like I fell to the ground, because I never felt this pain before. It's like my left thumb was broke or something. So I went to the hospital, and the lady was like, oh, well, why your blood pressure so high? And I'm like, oh, what you mean? Why you asking me why my blood pressure is so high? I don't know why my blood pressure is so high. That's why I'm here.
That's right.
So they kind of put my hand in the ace bandage and said I probably sprung my thumb. So I left that hospital and went to another hospital. And when I went to that hospital, they ended up keeping me because my blood pressure was elevated. And from there, they was like, oh, you supposed to have an MRI in 2016. But I found out that I had MS April 5th, 2018.
Wow. You put it off like a lot of people do. I did the same thing it was like, it took me a year when I didn't have to take a year because they suspected. And it was like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't think I'm going to deal with this right now. And so I put it off to almost darn near 11 months. And then I finally went and got the MRI. and that's when they determined, wow, Keke, that's a story right there. And you said the same day your mother passed away.
Is when I first had my first symptom.
First symptom. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So who was the first person to know, like, what you found out and you're like, did you even know what MS was? Did you even were you like, oh, MS, wow, I have the MS? Wow. Not like cancer. You say cancer, people are like, I know what cancer is. You say leukemia, I know what diabetes, everyone knows what those are. But MS, a lot of people, when they find out, they're kind of like, what?
Right, exactly. And I got like a funny story if you have time for me to tell you.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so it was my boyfriend was the first person that knew that I had MS. But kind of before I knew that I had MS, I was coming into contact with, like, I came in contact with a lady, which her husband worked with my boyfriend. So they came over one day and she was like teaching me how to make lasagna. So she was telling me that she had MS. At the time, I didn't know that I had MS. So she was like kind of telling me these horror stories like, oh, I got this much time to live and I'm supposed to die on such and such day. And I was feeling like, oh my God, I'm like so sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pray for you. And so it was like, when the doctor told me, because they kept me in the hospital for the high blood pressure. I had my MRI the same day. I have never been hospitalized for my MS. Like, even after I had neck surgery, I was at the hospital the next day. So when I woke up, it was like 8 people in the room, and they just all looking at me. So I'm looking at them, and they was like, oh, you know, you have multiple sclerosis. And I was like, oh my God, like how much time do I got to live? You know, I had just turned 35 and they was like, you got MS. And I was like, oh, well, how much time I had to live? And the doctor was like, and I kind of like lost my mind and I was like crying because it was like, I was reaching out to my auntie. I didn't want to call my grandma with it because, you know, she older and, you know, she already dealt with losing my mama. So it was like, wasn't nobody answered the phone. So I kind of went on Facebook and just lost my mind. Like, they telling me I got MS, you know? So the doctor had went and got this nurse, and which is just crazy because I know so many people in my community that it was the nurse that came in. She knew me and she was like, hold on, I'm about to go get your auntie Lee, which is my mama best friend. So she came in there and she was comforting me. And so my next question was, I asked the doctor, you know, like, can you catch this from somebody? And he was like, why you ask me that? I was like, because this lady, she came around me and she told me she was going to die because she had MS. And then the next thing I know, y'all telling me I got MS, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's a funny story. I've heard funny MS stories, but that's funny.
Right.
It was because we didn't know about it. So you're just like, and the woman who, I'm like, what in the world was going through her head that she said those kind of things? Like, she obviously was misinformed about MS. It's like, just teach me how to make lasagna, lady. Don't teach me.
Right. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's crazy. So how did you come to learn about what MS was? Who kind of broke it down to you and said, listen, you're not dying?
Okay. The first group that I ever knew of was Lauren Williams group, which is called I Can Beat MS. So, because at the time they told me I had MS, I completely forgot that Montel Williams, Richard Pryor, and all of them had MS. So at the time they said I had MS, I was like, oh, I'm the only one in the world that got MS. So I found I Can Beat MS. So I had started watching it. And I joined on that video as a guest. And I don't know what made me tell him this, but it was just like something was urging me to tell him quit drinking milk. So I told him, I joined as a guest, and I told him to quit drinking milk. And he was looking like, oh my God, so that's what's wrong with me, because I just drank 2 big bowls of cereal. And I was like, yeah, you know, every time I drink milk, it make my legs not work. Like they just, I don't have control over them.
Okay. So. Yeah. Well, they do say dairy is not too good for anyone with any autoimmune disease. So that was on point for you, and you knew it. You knew enough to know that it affected you whenever you drank it.
Exactly. So. And he had this. It was this guy named Corey was watching his live at the time, and I was like, okay, he looked like he close to my age. He might talk to me, because everybody else looked like they was kind of older. So I just called him out the blue, and I scared him because he ain't know me from the can of paint. And when I called him, I was like, my name Keke, and I got MS. I'm about to die, you know. And he had MS himself. And at the time, he was able to go to his mom and get her to talk to me. Like, he actually was able to run at the time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he was like, man, you scared me. And ever since that day, I call him, that's been my brother.
Right. Yeah, because he was there. He kind of talked you off the ledge. That's good. I'm glad that somebody gave you the information, the right information about what to do and what not to do, and what it was and what it wasn't. Because people, I think what happens is, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but people like the lady prior to you finding out, they'll give you the worst case scenario, or they know someone who had MS and they try to tell you what they did to feel better, or maybe it's worse. Oh, you have MS? Oh, honey, my friend, she has MS and she is bedridden and can't get up, or my friend's auntie's uncle, you know, like stuff like that, where you hear things and you're just like, oh my gosh, is this my fate? Did you ever, at what point did you realize, like, I'm going to be okay? I'm going to be okay.
When I first, the neurologist that was in the room with me when I got told I had MS, she wanted to do a spinal tap. And at the time I was kind of like, oh, you know, I don't have no kids. So I'm trying to dodge the spinal tap. So I did my research and I found me the baddest MS specialist in Michigan. And I'm going to shout her out if I'm allowed to. Dr. Forget Henry Ford. She the best. Because when I found her, I can still walk, but it was like more so I was walking like I was 90.
Okay. I got it. I understand.
And when I found her, when she told me that it was no need for a spinal tap, bladder split, she did the MRI, which to this day I still don't know how many lesions that I had, because I had multiple. I had neck surgery. This is my scar on my neck because I have lesions in my neck, and I had herniated disc.
Okay.
But I had neck surgery, and when I got on the neck surgery, I had to make sure I could still bankhead bounce a little bit. And by the time they was coming to, like put me in the shower, I kind of like already took my own shower and got dressed, and I was ready to go. So
you wanted them. You wanted those.
I could not sleep in the hospital.
You were like, I can do this.
She wanted to start me on Copaxone, but at the time, it was a generic form of Copaxone that came out, which was called Latima acetate. So I was on this shot for a whole year. All of a sudden, I turned allergic to it. And I was actually live in Butt Kickers because it was another young lady that just was finna start the medication. So I was like, I'll go live and show you how to inject yourself. So I ejected myself and I had an allergic reaction. And to this day, I don't know if the young lady took that medicine, but I probably scared her. But everything started swelling. And they was going to put me in a induced coma. And then, I was high-fiving the nurse like, yeah, save my life. I'm worth saving. So when she left, she was using medical terms like, and I didn't know that in medical wise, she was telling me she gonna put me in a coma and then do coma. So when she left to go get the tube and everything, I kind of asked the other nurse like, "What's she about to do?" And she was like, "Oh, she about to put you in a coma." And I was like, "Oh no! Remember when I got here, you told me that y'all only gave me a little bit of steroids. I need you to give me another shot." So she gave me another shot. And her and the other nurse started arguing because she ain't consult with her first. But I had to deal with getting cameras stuck up my nose 2 different times other than the first. But to God, I was reacting to the extra shot of steroids. So I ended up not being put in the coma.
Wow. I'm so glad about that. It looks like that was a bit extreme to be putting you in a coma. I mean, like.
Exactly.
They usually do that for like extreme like burn victims and people who can't take the pain and all that kind of stuff. Incidentally, I was on Copaxone for a few years until all of a sudden I became allergic to it as well. I didn't get extreme reaction, but I remember my lips swelled up and I remember like just bumps everywhere. And it's common with Copaxone. I don't know what it is, but people who've been on it for some time, all of a sudden they become allergic to it. Wow, girl, you are funny. You're probably my funniest. Oh my gosh. Okay, so how did your family take it when you told them, or friends or close friends? How did everyone take it? Were they like, "We're here for you, girl. We got you," or were they like, "What's that?" Or "Oh my God, girl!" Like, what did they say?
See, I'm gonna say at the time, I thought I had a lot of friends at the time, but because I used to work a lot and I was never the type of person that kind of like needed. I was the person that always had and supplied, and don't even be tripping because that's just the type of person I am. But once I got DX with MS and I was on the walker at one point a time, like around the time I first found out, I got on the medicine. I went to physical therapy for a whole year. I went to occupational therapy for a whole year. Till I didn't need my cane, and I used to use walker. Then I used to use a cane. Then now it's kind of like I don't need nothing. But I do have my times where I might have my cane. And it was like, to this day, it's like a lot of people might look at me and be like, "Oh, she don't have no MS," because they so used to the picture in their mind what they think MS look like.
Yes, I get it. I totally get it. Or maybe someday you may have your cane, someday you may not. So how could you possibly have MS? You're supposed to be like this all the time, or you're supposed to be getting worse and worse. And MS is so different in every single one of us. And so I'm glad you're at that point where you're not needing any of those devices all the time. What medication are you on, or are you taking any medication right now?
I am an advocate for medication. I think that the first time you find out you had MS, I think you should jump right on the medication. It's not going to cure you, but it's to slow the progression down. So I'm currently taking, which is my second DMT, is I think you pronounce it Gilenia.
That's what I take. That's what I'm on.
Yes.
The pill. Yeah, right?
Yes.
Because you don't have to stick yourself. You ain't got to worry about that. You just pop that pill every day. And it's been going well for me. I think I've been on about 6-7 years right now.
So far, so good. I haven't had no relapse since 2019. So I'm happy with it.
Good for you. So how has MS changed your life from the time you found out to now? Did you ever think you would be doing all the things that you're doing now as far as advocating, and like how has it changed you?
Well, before that I found out that I had MS, no, I did never see myself as being an advocate. or really even talking to people, like I talk to people, it's like it changed me. To me, it's like I'm not bitter at the fact that I had MS.
Mm-hmm.
God chose me for whatever reason, but I know that He chose me because I'm strong enough to deal with the MS. I'm gonna get up every day. Some people might not want to talk about MS,
Mm-hmm.
but as long as I keep receiving messages, how my little reminders help them when I tell them to take their medicine every day, or just try to tell them something positive, I'm gonna keep doing it. So I feel
Okay.
like I found my purpose in life.
Okay. Many of people, we feel like even though we're not happy that we were diagnosed with MS, we are know that if it wasn't for MS, then there have been a lot of things that I would not be doing right now. I wouldn't have married my husband if it wasn't for MS because he was diagnosed as well. So how do you, there's some, it's weird to say some positives and some negatives, but if it had not been for that, I would not be with my husband right now and doing the things that there would be no Christina Nelson show because I wouldn't have no reason to have a show because it started off with because I had been diagnosed with MS. So, we do things, and God is great still in our lives, and we give Him
Yeah.
all the glory for all the things that He's doing through us, and knowing that one day that we are healed with
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what everybody else is saying. So, what I wanted to know, there's this MS butt kickers. Now, I have seen some support group names. MS Warriors, MS this, MS that, but I have never seen MS Butt Kickers. I love it. Where did you come up with that name? That's so cool.
Kind of because I'm in a lot of groups, and I was kind of like, I want something different. I want something unique. And I was like, in my head, I'm about to kick MS butt.
That's
So
great.
I'm going to name my group MS Butt Kickers. Yeah.
Amen. I love it. I love it. I love it. MS Butt Kickers. And I said that already. Okay, so I said, how does one kick MS in the butt? How do we do this? How are you kicking MS? Is it the encouragement? Is the positivity that you exude? Because
Yeah.
I've never seen anything negative on your timeline. I've always seen encouragement, and you're just a really encouraging young woman. So I just wanted to tell you that first off.
Thank you, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I came up with the second group is just kicking mess in the butt was
Mm-hmm.
I think the first thing to do to beat a mess, even though it don't cure you, the first thing you got to do is get your mindset straight and
Mm-hmm.
just fill it up with positivity, because I feel like being negative don't do nothing but make my body have a flare up. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
around negative people, I don't want to be around no negative people. I want to be around some people that's going to encourage me, uplift me, and like help me elevate to the
Yes,
next level.
you're right.
And
Right.
and and having MS made me find that I like the craft. Since I quit working in 2018, I make t-shirts, I make tray sets, I make all types of crafts.
Really, right. I always wanted to talk about the Keke Creations. Is that what it is? Or right.
Yeah.
I love that. So you do all of that. So you found us out. So did you always have a knack for being able to create things, or
No,
really?
no.
Oh wow.
And I kind of just like picked it up, and I bought all my equipment, and it was like the more I did it, the better I got.
That's amazing. That's amazing because mostly you would think that you had some type of experience doing t-shirts or whatever you said, other things that you have that you create, and this came about just because of being diagnosed, and you found out that you had some other gifts
Right.
lying beneath you. I like that. You have gifts, you have talent. You found out a lot about. It sounds like you found out a lot about Keke during
Mm-hmm.
this whole journey of being diagnosed, and
Yes.
for such a short time, because it's been almost 20 years for me, and I'm just finding out things about myself that I didn't know, that I had in me. So to be able to find out and have things cultivated in you, that's a great thing at this early age. And I want to know, do you worry about your future at all? Do you sit there sometime to think about what it might be, or and how do you combat those thoughts, that negativity?
I kind of live in I kind of believe in fairy tales, and I kind of know that I have my mama up there, and I have so many people praying for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be okay in life.
Yes, you are. Yeah. And that's what it is. And you can't negate those prayers. I'm telling you, because those prayers is carried many people through, whether we know it or not. Somebody's praying for you, whether you know it at that time or
Right.
not. Somebody is always going to be praying for you. I'm going to be praying for Keke. I know that much, because
And I'm gonna be praying for you as well.
he says, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Where do you draw inspiration from, knowing that you create these items? How do you draw your inspiration? Like, where do you get that from? You say, okay, I have this t-shirt and I'm going to do this and that. Like, how do you get where do you come from with your inspiration?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to get all glory to the man up above.
Amen.
Because sometimes I don't even understand how I just wake up every day and be positive. Like, I'm so grateful to the Lord because, I fought COVID March 23rd.
Wow.
I had COVID. I just got my first vaccination that day me and you were speaking.
Uh-huh.
I go back and get my second shot June 9th. My boyfriend is very encouraging.
Good.
He won't never just let me sit around, which I always complain, like, oh, I can't gain weight. MS taking on my weight. It took my booty. It's taking everything. But I just don't never sit down because I know my doctor, my MS specialist, told me if you sit down, you lose it. So I'm just always on the go, like, just moving.
Gotcha. You have your boyfriend still, so that's good. He stood by your side throughout all of this. That's very good, and it can be encouraging for someone else, because there's a lot of people who I know B2B diagnosed with MS who don't stay in relationships long.
Exactly.
Or and so to have someone by your side, that's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful.
Yes,
thing.
It is. I'm 6 years in.
Mm-hmm. 6 years. All right now. Okay. I like that. Let's see some of these Facebook comments here. Here, this is the one I want to show you. She says, Keke, your testimony is a blessing to so many, but girl, you got me in tears laughing at you. Encouraging others. I am enjoying your story. Sorry about your mom. I know about how you feel. You are a blessing.
Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. Here we go. Here. With Ugandi, she says, amen. I love what you said. I'm going to be all right. It's not easy at all. So you're encouraging.
Ugandi.
And Sheila also just says, by his stripes, you are healed. Amen to that.
Thank you.
Amen. Amen to that. Yes. So I just wanted to I like to read what people are saying. So if you want to shout Keke out and say something to her, just feel free in a few moments. It's almost over, but you have been a delight. You have had me cracking up. I mean, like, you're funny. You're the kind of funny that don't be funny on purpose, but you just funny.
Right.
Like, you're not trying to be funny, but you just say some funny stuff.
Right. Right.
I like that a lot. So how can you, right. And my husband, he's saying here, it's be a vendor at our gathering. So every year, and this is coming in October, every year, we used to get together in person, and we're going to get back to that after everything is kind of calmed down. And they say it's calmed down now, but we're still going to be meeting virtually. It's in October.
The lies they tell.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, no, we're going to wait. So this October, it's going to be it's going to be virtual, and we're having a mock, like a Montego Bay theme. And so everything is going to be done like we're in Jamaica. So you wear, clothes like you're in Jamaica, act like you're in Jamaica, and all that good stuff. And he's asking you, pardon me, to be a vendor. So we have a section where we have vendors. So if you want to have a t-shirt or whatever, or a couple of your things and for sale, be our guest. We'll reach out to you when the time, we're doing.
I appreciate that. And thank you, Eric.
Very much so. Very much so. So, if you want some last words to encourage someone, encourage our brothers and sisters that are dealing with some struggles right now and they think that it's all is lost, and go ahead and take a couple minutes to encourage someone.
Okay, I would like to tell you, don't believe if somebody tell you you can't. Always keep in your mind that you can. Always think positive, stay away from negativity, and shoot for the stars. Because I'm just trying to shoot for the stars and shine bright.
Oh, amen. Amen. Shine bright, y'all. She said, shine bright like a diamond.
Right.
Amen. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Keke, thank you so much for being my guest. I appreciate you. I appreciate the laughter that you brought to this today when so many people are just upset about things, and it even tells us in the Bible that laughter is good like medicine. So
Yes.
just keep making people laugh, keep doing what you're doing, keep being encouraging to people in your support group, keep kicking MS in the butt, keep
Right.
doing what you're doing. It's only going to get better from here. I pray
Yes.
that over your life
And,
right now. So
and I want to tell you, thanks for having me.
oh, you're so welcome. You are a pleasure. You are indeed a pleasure. Thank you so much. And keep on keeping on. So everyone, thank you for oh, someone says, oh, good girl. I am, oh no, that's not her. It was somebody that said, oh, here she is. I am so proud of you, sweetheart. Good girl.
Thank you, good girl.
Thank you, good girl. Tanisha Williams says, hey, Keke, such a wonderful inspiration. Love you, my MS sister.
I love you too, Tanisha. I'll call you after the show.
She's gonna call you, Tanisha. She's gonna call you, girl. Be right there. Wait for her. Wait for your call. All right, everyone. God bless you. Everyone, have a good night. Don't forget, next Tuesday I'll have a guest. If I don't, then I'll be on here saying something inspiration.
Right.
Somebody. Everyone, don't forget, MS World Day is May 30th. You have your stories. Say something positive. Stay positive. Stay encouraged. And we thank you so much once again for being on here. So everyone, God bless you and have a good night.
Thank you, Christina. Have a good
So
night.
welcome. Have a good night.